Okay, we're in heaven. The first thing we want to do is to talk with all the trainers. Don't be like me that I forgot, and I had to realize once I was fumbling on my first outburst and that I had to go back. I'm gonna talk with all of them but the tamer one. That one is further away on the other exit of the town, but I'm just not gonna have any taming down the line with this character, so it's not really necessary for me. But if you wanna have taming, you should also definitely talk with that one. Okay, after we finish talking to all of them, we are gonna go straight to the graveyard to kill our first zombie. In our way there, you can get used to the interface, change some options like the color of the combat text, the color of your skill level, and get used to the... You can switch your compass if you want. You can... If you type /FPS, you will be able to see your FPS. You can also type /leave tutorial to leave that annoying thing that is only gonna get in your way. I'm the tutorial. Now we are gonna get used to directional combat. If you left click and drag to up, down, left or right, your character will swing your weapon in that direction, and if you right click and up, down, left or right your mouse, your character will block in that direction. Whenever you see any enemy, be NPC or player, attacking you with a melee weapon, they will have to engage in that system. They will have to use directional combat. As you can see here, the zombie is swinging from the left to the right, from the left to the right, doing overheads. This is the best place to get used to directional combat if you're a completely beginner, because these zombies are the slowest. These zombies have the slowest animations in the games. On top of that, depending on the weight of the weapon, your swing will be slower or faster. Whenever you hold your left click and you are charging an attack, you will see a small wheel going up until it gets full. That if you swing without holding your attacks, they are gonna do 0% of your damage, 1% of your damage. They are gonna do nothing. So you need to charge them fully for their damage to be full effect. Another way to get full damage is after a parry. If you parry the enemy attack with directional blocks, you will have a free counter attack without the need of holding your attack. So after you parry the attack, you can swing so much faster as a counter attack. Every single zombie we kill, we are gonna loot them and we are gonna butcher the carcass. To butcher the carcass, we are gonna right click on it and then hold the butcher icon on the center of the screen. After we butcher the carcass, if we get items that are not worth silver to the vendor, like walkers they have meat, we are gonna delete those using Alt and right click. The rest we're gonna save, and once we are full weight on our inventory, we are gonna go back to the vendor next to the graveyard and sell all that. On your first trip to the graveyard vendor, buy your weapon of choice. I usually go with daggers because they are the highest DPS for low strength characters, and you're not gonna end up having much before you have to set it too low, but you can use whatever you want. If there are other players killing zombies and they are leaving the carcass on the ground, your priority is to loot that and butcher it and sell it to the vendor, not to kill zombies. Right now we are here to gather our first few gold coins so we can buy all the magic books we want to start our journey, and we are gonna end up using as little directional combat as possible as mages. Once we have around 3 gold coins overall, we are gonna go back to the town to buy our first few books. Okay, now we are gonna buy our basic spell book. It's 1 gold. We don't need to buy any regions because we are only gonna use water from the well at this point in time. The books we need to buy are Vitalism and Mental Training. We can buy the mental offense and concentration, but they are not mandatory, and you are gonna use them later if anything. I bought them at this point in time because I was thinking about reading them after mental training reaching 50, but in the end I did consider that reading the reading book was so much better. Your reading skill is 0 and your intelligence is low, so whatever you read is not gonna have any effect. Right now we just want to read book that cannot be learned through action. So we are just gonna right click Vitalism first, and then we are gonna go to our character sheet and remove the book from there with another right click, and then we are gonna read mental training and we are gonna leave it there. We don't need mental offense since that can be learned through action, and you're gonna be sporting yourself all the time. Our priority right now is getting mental training to 50 so we can buy and read mental focus. Mental focus is super huge. It makes your spells cost half as much. I'm also gonna buy some calamine just in case, since all my resting skills are still leveling. You could also buy some bandage, but we are gonna get a lot of them later when we kill bandits and rats, and honestly I don't get hit very much, so this calamine will be more than enough. Since you have everything unlocked already, from here on, if you are not full mana, you should be casting sports, and whenever you are going anywhere, you should be walking while casting until you are low mana or out of mana. Also, right now is a good moment to level all the resting skills, so you can walk while using sport until you run out of mana, then do a rest. It's gonna take a while, at least the first few times, since everything is leveling. So whenever you are out of mana, you can put your character to rest. If you don't know how to get icon on your action bars, you need to go to action skills, L key, and then below the search bar you will see show all skill icons. Then you click there, and from there on the right you will see the icons, and then from there you click and drag to your hotkey of choice. Since in heaven nobody can attack you, what I used to do is whenever I'm out of mana, I just let my character rest in there and I go do something else, like take a leak, make some tea, check my socials, whatever. If you want to min-match your walking speed a bit while casting sports, you can do a little sprint and a jump between casts. Oh, I forgot to say that you need to cast the spores on yourself, otherwise you will not level mental offense. In order to cast on yourself, you need to use the cast self. Cast self and cast to target are Q and E by default. Now is a good moment to unlock active regen if you haven't done so already. Active regen is never worth the primary points on a full finished build, but since you are leveling and you have plenty of points to spare, is a bit useful. In order to unlock it, you need to do any attack on a zombie, and while the zombie is still attacking you, you are in combat, you sit and rest. Okay, now since mental training is still kicking in and you need 50 points there until you can read mental focus, your task is going to be kill zombies on the graveyard, get used to directional combat, and gather some gold coins. Butcher everything and sell it to the vendor next to the graveyard. Any extra gold you get right now is gonna be very welcome. You still need to buy some more books, and we also gonna need to buy some scrolls from the vendor to level scribing a bit so we can scribe our first few spells. Once we didn't claim level 1, we're gonna put the point in Scholar. We want to rush to Thaumaturge first as quick as possible. After we have 5 or 6 gold from the graveyard zombies, we might be already out of free attribute points, so we're gonna have to put strength at minus, so intelligence, dexterity and psych can keep growing. Once we have done this, instead of going to kill more zombies, we're gonna go to the big farm next to the graveyard and we are gonna kill them with the spurts and butcher them. We are gonna delete anything else other than full grain leather. Once we have our inventory full of full grain leather, we're gonna go back to town and level armor crafting. Back in town, we are gonna buy mental focus if we haven't done that already, and then we're gonna buy rookie garments and quality leather. Lore. We might need to buy an extra mental training. Those are 10 silver, so it doesn't matter much. So we are gonna cancel the mental training book, and then we are gonna unlock rugged garments, quality leather, and then we are gonna put mental training again if we are not yet at 50 points. Then we are gonna go to the armor crafting workbench, and we are gonna craft the rugged garment headpiece. We are gonna use 0 extra core and 0 extra padding. This is the cheapest item we can make, and every single item levels you the same amount of experience, so it doesn't matter. By the way, while you're crafting, you can be resting at the same time. So what you're gonna do is you are gonna push rest and craft, and once your mana is full, you stop crafting, and then you empty your mana pool, you casting spores on yourself, and then go back to crafting. After we hit 50 mental training, we are gonna start mental focus, we are gonna cancel mental focus, and we are gonna go and buy the reading book. Once we don't have any full grain leather left, we're gonna go and kill Springbok instead, northeast of the big farm. After you're full in quality leather, go back and do the same you did with the full grain leather. Since now our magic skills and stats are much higher, we have a bit more experience with Directional Combat, and we have quality leather rugged garments. We're gonna go to Fab Tower to kill bandits instead of the graveyard. They are way more tricky than zombies because they do feints and they do more damage, but they are slow, so you can run from them. If you aggro more than one, just run. Our goal is to reach at least clay 3 for thaumaturgs. If we run out of bandits before we do so because there is other people or someone was here earlier than us, we can go to the town and switch heaven stances. But it's very likely that you can do 2 clades in one sitting here. Now at this point, you can keep farming bandits until you feed at these, dealing with them, or until you get all the speed clades, or you can go explore the rock cave. In my case, I went for the rock cave. For this trip you need to bring 120 silver dagger with full durability at the very least, maybe 2, if you're gonna stay there forever. At least 100 calamine and maybe 18 nitrate. You don't want to bring sulfur because once you are there you're gonna see a lot of sulfur. Also, if your heaven stance has a lot of people playing on it, try to get into a different one because all the coffers you're gonna see on the rock cave are gonna be empty if someone else has been there before you. Try to check for this decayed corpse before you enter the cave, because this armor is gonna be much better than regular garments, and on top of that you can get one of those red capes. Once you are inside the cave, the rats are not a threat at all on directional combat because they only attack from right or left, and they are very easy to parry, but they are super fast. Unless you have all the speed clades and all the dexterity leveled, they are gonna catch up to you, and they never retreat. So be super safe, move slowly, and try to kill them one by one. Our main goal inside the cave is to look for the rock crystals that we are gonna use to trade for the Elemental's magic school. We are gonna need at least 18 silver worth of vendor value. You can get this vendor value through geodes and rock crystal. after you're back in town and you have enough materials, you can leave everything in the bank, set your home prison Faverum, and head south to the fishing village. Also, whenever your reading book is high enough, around 70s or 80s, you can already swap that one. The priority is gonna be concentration. Before you can scribe the scrolls, you're gonna need at least level 20 scribing. In order to do so, you are gonna need to buy from the magic vendor sports and lesser healings until you are on the threshold. It's not gonna be that expensive. Once you are at the fishing village, you're gonna look for this house and buy these scrolls. No, I'm kinda annoyed by this. Nearly a year ago, when the Magic School was implemented, Henrik was talking on stream that they introduced the Elementalist vendors on Haven so people can test the Magic School in Haven, but that it wasn't currently working on Haven. They were trying to push for it to work on release, but they could not get to work on release, and they were gonna do this on a following patch. It has been a year, and this is still not working in Heaven. Now, if by the time you're watching this, the stone is already working on Heaven, staying in Heaven leveling Clade is a no-brainer as a mage. But since it's not working, you have two options now. If you feel like you're not ready yet, take your time, keep killing bandits on the Fab Tower. Or if you feel like you're ready, you can leave for Mirland. In the meantime, I'm gonna think what to do myself, and I'm gonna end the episode here.